What is going on, everybody? Today I'm going to be showing you one of my absolute most favorite rigs of all time. It is probably the most utilized rig in my boat pretty much all year long, starting in the spring, running all the way through the fall, and that is the Humble drop shot rig. It is not just for bass, it is for just about everything that swims, and today I'm going to show you how I rig up my drop shot rods, my preferred method to fish them, and how you can put a lot more fish in the boat this summer. All right, so first things first, for those of you who maybe aren't familiar with drop shot rigs or have never fished with one, here's a drop shot rig. It's a hook. I've got a number 4 tied right there in my line, Palomar knot, down to a weight. This is a 3/16 ounce drop shot weight. That's it. That is the entire rig, and that is why I love it so much. It is incredibly simple. It's literally a hook and a weight, and the beauty of this rig is you can put just about anything you want on that hook and catch fish with it. And that being said, a lot of bass guys are not gonna like what I'm about to say, at least the hardcore bass guys. Live bait is absolutely deadly on drop shots, especially if you're targeting smallmouth and especially for walleyes. One thing that I've noticed over the years doing a lot of walleye fishing is almost no walleye anglers utilize drop shots. Think of it like a combination between a Lindy rig and a slip bobber. That's essentially what we have here. So if you're trying to pick apart a spot, especially a spot on the spot, and get some really finicky walleyes to eat, drop shots can be absolutely deadly. And that's true for just about every species of fish. We target panfish with these. We obviously target bass with these. But I will say it is probably one of my #1 most utilized techniques for pressured metro walleyes as well. So that being said, I'm gonna show you guys how I rig this up. Hopefully we can catch fish today. So as far as my rod selection goes, I typically like to go with something that has a nice soft tip to it. This is an Eagle Claw EC 2.5. This is in a 7-footer, medium power with a fast action. But what's really nice about this rod is it actually has a really soft tip to it. And that's really the key to fishing drop shots, at least the way that I like to fish them. I like to have a rod that has a nice soft tip with a lot of backbone. So that way when you actually hook the fish, you let the rod tip kind of load up on them, and then that backbone hits them, and wham, it buries the hooks in the fish. As far as the reel is concerned, it's really just a line holder. I'm rocking a size 30 Fluker President. Love these things, absolutely bulletproof. And my line, I'm going with an 8-pound fluorocarbon. And I will add this, if you're going to be fishing with these, especially with kids or with people that maybe don't use a lot of drop shots or fish with fluorocarbon real often, a really good choice is a copolymer line, so a blend of mono and fluorocarbon. They tend to be a little more forgiving when it comes to casting than fluorocarbon. Fluoro tends to be a little bit wiry, but you still get the added benefit of having some more abrasion resistance than you would with mono, as well as some increased invisibility underwater. So copolymer lines are a great choice, but if you're kind of a purist, you want to go hardcore with it, straight 8-pound fluoro is the ticket. Now, as far as the hook goes, not all hooks are created equal for drop shots. There are so many different hooks out there, and with everything on the market today, it can be kind of daunting trying to pick the right hook. So what I have found over many years of doing this is just about any octopus style hook will work. You don't have to go out necessarily buy a drop shot specific hook. However, I will say that hooks that have an offset eye, like most octopus hooks, tend to have a little bit less better hooking percentage than hooks that have a straight inline eye with the shank of the hook. And that is where drop shot hooks tend to be different from an octopus hook. Additionally, most octopus hooks also have a slight curve to the actual point of the hook that curves inward. I tend to not use those hooks real often. I like the drop shot hooks that go straight out, perfectly straight point. And the reason for that is it seems like it gives you just a little bit better leverage when you actually go to drive the hooks home on a fish. So when I'm looking for a drop shot hook, either a number 2 or a number 4 with a straight non-offset eye and the straight point on it. And as far as the actual hooks I like to use go, I'm kind of all over the board. If you want to get real fancy, obviously Trocars are awesome hooks. They're super sharp, they're very well made, and they have a couple of different drop shot specific hooks. We have the new Helix, which is super cool. It has a little swivel built into it. That way your hook stays upright all the time. It's going to help a lot with hooking percentage. We got the good old regular drop shot Trocars. This is an absolute staple in my boat. And if you don't want to spend the money on Trocars, laser sharps. Laser sharp drop shot hooks are phenomenal. It's the exact same hook, it just doesn't have the Trocar point on it. So these things are absolutely phenomenal. But again, looking for the non-offset eye and the perfectly straight hook point, and that is going to give you your best hooking percentage. Now the last component we have in our drop shot rig, other than our bait selection, is our weight. Most drop shot weights are either cylindrical like this one or they're round. And one thing you'll notice is that on top of the weight, there's a little wire line keeper. And essentially that is designed where you put the line through and you pinch the line into place and you're good to go. I am not a big fan of these because a lot of times your line is either gonna slip out, you're gonna lose the weight, and I hate losing lead or any weights for that matter when I'm fishing. And the other issue with that is if the wire is pinched too tight, you'll actually cut and compromise the line and you'll just snap it off anyways that way. So instead, I actually tie these on with a clinch knot, your basic fisherman's knot, where you loop it around 5-6 times and put it back through the bottom loop. Instead, I only wrap it twice and pull it through. I still want this to be the sacrificial part of my rig. So if we do get snagged and we are gonna potentially lose our rig, the weight is gonna be the weakest point. We're gonna snap that line, we're gonna get our rig back. So as far as locations are concerned, where you might be fishing a drop shot, the possibilities are kind of endless. If you like fishing structure, especially deep rocks and transition areas in the summertime for walleyes, this is a great tool for picking apart an area, especially if you've already gone through it once jigging or maybe slip bobbing. You can pick it apart even a little bit better using a drop shot. Also, deep weed edges are excellent places to fish these, and even in pockets of weeds. Early in the season, a lot of times walleyes, smallmouth, just about everything is up shallow. And a lot of times you find good weed growth anywhere from like 5 to 10, 12 feet of water, and you find nice little patches in the weeds. You can easily pitch a drop shot into those weeds, get it down in the pocket super quick, and a lot of times you can pull fish out that you otherwise wouldn't have access to. So that's kind of the beauty of these rigs. You can fish them just about anywhere using just about anything, and you can catch a ton of different types of fish on them. All right, just got picked up on this rod, so what I'm gonna do is just reel down. There we go, we got him. Just like that, we got a smallie. What's up, buddy? Come here, dude. Does not want to give up. Come here, buddy. Alrighty. So that right there is why instead of setting the hook, you just reel down. That thing is hooked absolutely perfect right in the roof of the mouth. Ooh, we got another one on the rod holder here. We're gonna let that guy go. So another way that I fish these, kind of the cheater rod, is I put it in a rod holder and just kind of wait for the rod to load up. And again, having a light rod makes it really nice in that it acts as a bite indicator. You can see the rod load up when there's a bite. And if the fish is pulling on it, you don't see it right away. There isn't enough resistance for the fish to drop the bait. So see if this guy's still on. I think it is. We got him. Don't think it's real big. I'm guessing. Yeah, definitely not real big. Little smallmouth. But that just goes to show you how absolutely effective this can be. I'm on a tiny little spot here, little piece of structure. It's a little tricky to cast to, but I was able to get the boat right on top of it, and we're kind of picking apart these individual little pieces of this structure using the drop shot. All right, guys, just got picked up again. Let's see what we got here. Oh, that might be a decent fish. So again, the hook set is just reeling down. I'm not swinging on them. I'm just reeling down, letting the rod load up. We got ourselves a pretty nice fish here. In fact, doing this with 2 rods by yourself is a little tricky. We're just gonna get that one totally out of our way. Ooh, we got a stud walleye. Check this thing out. That is a beast. Take a look at that Madison walleye. That's probably about a 21, maybe 22-inch fish. And look how that fish is hooked. Just barely hooked right in the roof of the mouth. And again, that is why hook came right out. That is why you just reel down. Instead of swinging on them, just start cranking, let the rod load up, and you can catch some sweet fish. I'm gonna let this fish go. Hopefully you guys found this video helpful, and I hope that you guys employ drop shots going into this summer. It is a great way to catch a bunch of different types of fish, especially beautiful, beautiful walleyes. See you guys on the next video.